I'm Kristy Aasheim, a top producing agent in North Dakota, and this show is all about learning from the best. Top producers, brokerage owners, and industry experts who have faced the challenges, put in the work, and climbed to greatness. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills, gain new strategies, or even get inspired by the journeys of top agents, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Inner Circle. Today I'm joined here by somebody who truly embodies generosity, service, and community. Seth Malott of the Mallet team. He has built an incredible presence within South Dakota real estate and beyond. He's also the host of Sobriety, a podcast focused on personal growth, mindset, and living with a purpose. We're going to talk about generosity in business, staying present in the fast-paced industry, building community connections, and so much more. Seth, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kristy.
Absolutely. So first off, I always want to start with, how do we describe you? Who's Seth?
Oh, Kristy, that's a good question. Seth is husband and father and realtor and just present. I guess I wish I had a more in-depth response to that question, but pretty basic. Let's try to keep it simple.
Hey, I totally get it. Family life keeps you busy, and if you're in the mix of real estate, hard really to do much else, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely busy, but like I said, just present. I'm in the moment. This is who I am right now, and I'm grateful.
Oh, very good.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when you say you're present, are you trying to do more being in the moment, not worried about the future, not worried about the past, just being so you can be happy and fulfilled?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So right now I'm talking to Kristy Aasheim.
Awesome.
Aasheim, there it
That's
is.
okay.
Aasheim, there it is. Yeah, no, because being in real estate, yeah, you could have a million things going through your mind at once. So when I say I'm present right now, I can just appreciate this is what I need to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be and be content with that. And that helps me to know that anything else going on right now can wait. It's kind of like being on an airplane. One of my favorite things to do is fly because I don't have my phone. I don't have cell service. It just allows me. I also like scuba diving for the same reason.
I can totally relate. Yes.
Yeah, and I've learned to just apply that principle in every moment. Just I don't have to be underwater or in an airplane to be present and appreciate where I'm at in the moment. Like right now, no phone and no distractions, just being present.
Absolutely. No, I love that. That's something we all need to learn, whether you're in real estate or not, is how to be present because it is super difficult. I know even when we're at home at night or with our children and your phone goes off, we're in real estate. Sometimes you have to answer and you don't get to be completely present, which you should be.
And somebody once told me that my cell phone is for my convenience, not everyone else's. That kind of helped me to understand that it's a tool for me, not for others. So before I was attached to that pretty closely, and it had a lot of control over me because depending on what type of text I got influenced my mood.
Yeah.
And also why I don't wear an Apple Watch anymore.
Yeah, because it's too much. Yeah, it's right
That's
there
too
all the
much.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess with that said, I think you probably have a big impact. So when you are with your clients, what do you think your biggest impact you are onto them? I can already tell you're definitely a person more than just a real estate agent. What
Oh
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
bring to the table when you have a new client?
Just trustworthiness, which sounds cliche, but being relational, not being influenced by any other incentive than what's best for them. So being service oriented. So just ensuring that they understand that what's best for them is what's best for me.
Yep.
And so when I work with a buyer, like the other day I showed a home and they were trying to talk themselves into liking it. And
Yep.
it could have been very easy for me to jump in and be like, yeah, you guys, right? You like this. But instead, I just said, don't try to talk yourself into buying this house, right? Because the things that you're trying to negotiate yourself past, whatever objections you have now, as you live in this home over time, they're going to become increasingly more difficult to ignore. And so things like that. And I think they appreciated that because it wasn't about making the sale. It was about reassuring them that you don't have to buy this house, right? You don't have to talk yourself into buying it. And so little things like that, just being service oriented. For so many years, I felt like I was always trying to make as much money as possible. And like in 2021, I made the most money I've ever made in real estate, and I was miserable. I was the most unhappiest I've ever been in my life. And I think a lot of it was because once January kicked in, I was like, I have to do that all over again or more. And then it was just, I was burnt out immediately. And then I was ignoring certain phone calls based on what I thought I was going to gain monetarily from them.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I just ended up with no clients. And people can see through it. And now it's like, I don't even think about the money aspect. For me, it's more reassuring when I can talk a seller into just taking their house off the market and waiting till next summer or something. Because in that sense, you're gaining lifetime relationships, not transactional relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'm dealing with a bunch of very young people. We live in an area that you can make a lot of money at a young age. And even my son is shopping and he is going to be 20 next week. So
Jeez.
really focus on, let's be intentional on what we're buying. Okay. Let's not just buy to buy because we can buy.
Yeah,
Let's look at the full package here because some of the homes aren't as resellable as others too. You always have to educate your buyers on that. I
that's
don't see
right.
a lot of that, but I'm very picky. I've been doing it long enough that making the sale is less important than making sure that they're happy with their purchase.
That's it. Yeah. It's just not worth it. In the end, it's just not enough money to put yourself in a position of leaving someone feeling like you didn't take care of them. The best things in life don't have a dollar sign on them. And so there's just a lot to it. But that's pretty sweet. Where are you?
I am in Williston, North Dakota, so in the
Okay, there you go. That's what I
heart of the
thought. Yeah.
Bakken. So there is a lot of opportunities here for young individuals, for any individual really, but we just have a lot of young individuals that are able to purchase homes. And I definitely want to do that for them, but I make sure to more be on the mom side of things when I'm doing that to make sure
Yeah.
I would never put my kid in that situation, so why would I put you in that situation type thing.
No, that's a great approach. But yeah, it's crazy up there. The heart of the Bakken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Different type of area for sure.
It is. Yeah.
But it's nice. You guys are going through growth spurts too. So definitely a growth spurt, I would say.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird market for sure, but no, I think that's the right approach. And like you said, coming from it from a maternal aspect, right?
Yep.
Like a parental role almost. And because that's what our job is as realtors, we need to be objective,
Yeah.
not emotional, keep it arm's length. The reason why you hired me is because I know you're motivated to sell and you want to keep dropping the price. But I'm here to tell you the price isn't the problem. Even though dropping the price might actually make my job easier, you're just negotiating against yourself. And so, yeah, those are the type of things that in the end, I think people can pick up on. People are very intuitive and they can sense when somebody's working for them versus against them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Congrats to your son, 20 years old and buying a house.
Yeah. I turns 20 in 2 weeks.
Oh,
We're
he's not
working
even
on
20
it.
yet.
No.
Oh my
He
gosh, I'm
graduated super
jealous.
young. So he has been just because he was started school young. So yeah, and he has a good approval. So
Right on. Good
I'm
for
very
him.
excited for him, but we'll see.
You
He's
should be
also
very
very
proud.
cautious and cheap. So we'll see what happens.
Even better, cautious and cheap at 19. Who
That's
was
why
it?
he's in the position he is.
I was taking out student loans to buy mountain bikes and other things. And
Oh, I remember going to Slumberland and buying new furniture when I was 19, thinking I might have
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, that's
Couldn't
important.
afford it,
Yeah.
but
Those
broke the
things
pen.
appreciate.
Yeah,
Yeah. Over time, those appreciate furniture.
yeah,
That's
they do.
cool.
They do. It didn't matter. We didn't care then.
We didn't care.
But anyway, so I'm guessing with the person that you are, you do a lot of community work, and that's part of kind of your business strategy, I would assume, is to be present in the community and help a lot of people. So what all do you do in the Rapid area?
Yeah, absolutely. That just ties into the idea of being service oriented. And I would say more of a lifestyle strategy than business, right? I definitely, everything I do that's community service really has no like business. I try to keep it separate. It's
Okay.
kind of like handing out business cards in church, right? It's got a spiritual component to it. Every Monday at 11, I deliver Meals on Wheels for an hour. And
Oh,
every Monday, I'm like, I don't have time today. Like
Yep.
Monday's the worst day to take an hour from 11 to noon for some reason, because
It is. Yes,
I'm
I
starting the week and everything's happening. And, but every Monday I make it a point to do it. I never cancel because I'm busy. And it's just really good because, like we were talking about with being present, right now I have to do this. This is an appointment. This is a commitment that I make. And I can't do anything else from 11 to noon on Mondays. And what that does is so when I'm coming in Monday and feeling a little chaotic and stressed, it really gets me for 1 hour the beginning of every week to stop thinking about myself, at least.
Yep.
And that's really what being of service means, is not thinking about myself. And that's what I mean when I say, because if it was like a business idea or strategy, whatever, I would have kind of an ulterior motive, right? A little bit, to a degree. If I was doing it because it's like I put it on my resume or I use it to promote myself as a realtor, then I will be disappointed if I've been doing it for a year and I don't get a single deal off of it. And that's how I used to think. And so not anymore. And so that's what I do. And so any opportunity generally that I get to do something for somebody else, and in real estate, we get to do that, right? If we have to drop what we're doing on a Saturday afternoon to go show a house, you're being of service. You're working, but also that's selfless a little bit, because our clients, right, will say, "Oh, I hate that you have to do this on a Saturday. I just show home on Sunday morning at 8:30." And they're like, "I hate that you had to do this on a Sunday," but it
Yep.
was good because I'm showing them that I can be of service. Yeah, so that's my approach and my idea with being of service to the community, and being tied into the community. And obviously delivering Meals on Wheels, I'm not delivering to people that are going to be buying $1 million homes. Like,
No,
yeah.
that
And
literally
so
is just of service for sure.
that's it. Yeah, it's very unlikely that I'm going to pick up a buyer or anything from doing it. And that's what I like about it. And generally, whenever I'm doing something, it's coming from the mindset of I'm not getting a single real estate deal. And I work with a lot of people in like recovery, working towards sobriety, people working towards a second chance, right? And
Yep.
being of service to them is really important to me as well, because generally those are the types of folks where some people could look at them and say, I'm not going to be able to get anything off of them, right? Sometimes. Or what's the advantage of helping certain people? Yeah, that's just it. Just for me, it's just thinking of myself less.
That's good. So, how did you get on this journey and when did this happen that you decided to do the podcast Sober City and start helping individuals that need it?
Yeah, fully. I got sober August 22nd of 2023. So coming up on 2 years. And it was a journey. It was tough. A lot of people think just don't drink or don't use. But really, I heard somebody say I didn't really struggle with alcoholism until I stopped drinking. And that's because I just did not know how to live life. And what I found was I was an incredibly selfish person. And so, like, a lot of what I'm saying is just coming from how I used to be. So I'm not referring to any particular individual other than Seth pre August 22nd, 2023. Because everything I did was like, what's in it for me? Everything was transactional, right? And what I found was by living life away, I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't reaping what benefits I thought I was getting by putting myself first. And
Right.
over the course of time, and a lot of what keeps me sober is not thinking about myself. Because when I stop and think, wait a second, this isn't fair to Seth. Seth isn't getting what he should. That's when I get into trouble. That's when I start acting selfishly. And I won't necessarily relapse, but I can get not nice and really uncomfortable and lose the joy and happiness that I've experienced through sobriety, right? Because being sober is getting outside of myself. And because the reason why I had to use or drink was because I wasn't comfortable with who I was as a person. And so now I'm learning that for me to be comfortable with myself, I have to think of myself less. And after a year of sobriety, my wife just mentioned that it would be cool if I could talk to a lot of these people, a lot of these folks that I met along the way,
Yeah.
if they'd be willing to share their journey. And I was surprised that most of them were, because just like me, they understand that in order for us to keep this thing, we have to give it away. And it's been cool to be able to give them a platform to be able to do this thing that's able to allow them to keep this gift of sobriety, and through it share that kind of hope that everyone can get better. No one's beyond saving. And So I'm coming up on, I think I got 4 episodes left before I'm done with my first season. And that's been definitely a labor of love. But yeah, that's how it came to be. Started in February and now I'm at episode 23. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's another thing where it's just, I get people periodically that are like, how many listeners do you get? How many people listen? And I'm like, I don't look because the
No,
second
it
I
doesn't
look,
matter.
yeah, like one person will get however many listeners, and then another person won't get as many. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, shoot, I should have that other person back on. Then all of a sudden, the agenda isn't, I'm just trying to platform stories of hope. It becomes, how do I get more listeners? How do I get advertisers or whatever? And I can't. I don't like looking. Whoever needs to hear it will hear it. If I have one listener, I just assume it's one person that needed to hear that. So, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it's just such an easier way to live. Having that burden of trying to capitalize on everything or just trying to grow how I used to be, which led to me ending up on my mom's couch at 37 years old versus buying a house at 19. You know what I
We all
Yeah.
fall off a path at any age. Things
Yeah.
happen in life, and I've
Oh
seen it
yeah.
over and over again. I,
Yeah, for sure.
my goal, even with this podcast, I have not looked how many listeners I've had. I haven't looked once.
No,
And I
don't worry
don't
about
really
it.
want to, because the point
No.
is what I'm trying to do is teach agents that for some reason, real estate's hard. It just is. And when you get into it, you are really thrown to the wolves. And I want them to have a resource to go to and listen to agents about their stories, their lives, what has happened, what works, what doesn't, so they can find themselves and not feel overwhelmed. And I don't know, like I was. I mean, I literally,
No.
it was the height of the Bakken when I started, which was like almost 10 years ago. It was
Yeah.
nuts. I didn't know what I was doing. They're like, oh, just go to sell house. I'm like, with what forms? What do I use? How do I do this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's really nerve-wracking and it's scary because you're also dealing with strangers and getting out of your shell and figuring that out. So it is definitely a different beast of a business, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's always evolving. You never know.
Mhm.
It's not a 9 to 5. Every day is different. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that, what advice do you have to a new agent? Let's talk about burnout. To not have burnout, because I know it can be a burnout when you're showing home 7 days a week all the time and not doing anything for yourself either.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think what burned me out was just being motivated by money. Um,
Take away the motivation
because
of money.
yeah,
Money
and you
ask.
think, of course, yeah, you want to make money. That should be a good motivator. But that's what's crazy is when you get what you think you need and you realize you're not any better or any happier. It's a really tough reality check. You set these goals of, oh, I'd like to make this much money. And then you make it and you're like, oh, I guess maybe this is how much I need to make
Every year you want more and
every year. Yeah. Uh,
doing anything different.
and yeah, and then all of a sudden you're doing what I'm doing, which is, oh, that price point's not worth it. I don't get out of bed unless you're buying at least 500,000. That kind of prioritizing people based on how much money they're going to make you. What ultimately ends up happening is, yeah, you just end up with no clients and a very frustrated wife who's sick of having you come home being mopey and depressed and not present. And what I found through sobriety and like being selfless or thinking of myself less is anytime I get a phone call, I see it as an opportunity to do something for somebody else. And it's pretty cool in our industry because we get to do that a lot, hopefully. And no matter what it looks like, just being honest, rigorously honest, and knowing that if a deal falls through because you're honest, just know that it comes back. When I in 2024, I really didn't feel like I did that much business because I was really trying to focus on just learning how to live life, just being an adult. Because I realized, like, even though I was 36 or 37 or whatever, I had no idea how to function. And it wasn't like I was a blackout drinker or a heavy user. I was a very functional. A lot of people had no idea. When I put my podcast out, even some of my best friends were like, dude, I had no idea, right? Because
Mhm.
we live in the shadows. We were behind closed doors. But it wasn't so much the substances that was my problem. It was just confidence and gratitude and I keep saying it, but being present and learning how to do that. And so my first year of sobriety, I was trying to implement these principles. And I felt like I really wasn't calling. I wasn't cold calling. I wasn't following up on leads. I wasn't doing open houses. All the things they tell you to do when you start out, right?
Yep.
Is, oh, you got to make so many cold calls, or you got to reach out to your database. You got to your sphere. You got to do open houses. You got to go door knock. I didn't do any of those things. All I did was if I had any opportunity to be of service to any, whatever it looked like, I just took it, even if it made me no money, if it cost me money, even. And what I found was at the end of the year, I actually had a really good year. And I'm just surprised because I wasn't tracking my income. I wasn't tracking my transactions. I wasn't doing all the things that they tell you to do. Was you got to scale your business. You got to figure out where's your money. I just every day I woke up, like I was telling you, and I just said, okay, where do I need to be today? You get on your knees and you just pray for God's will and the power to carry it out and whatever that looks like. And miraculously, at the end of the night, at the end of the day, I just said, okay, I gave it my best.
Yep.
And you just do that day after day. That's why I hear that saying, one day at a time, because I could regret something I did yesterday. I could spend all day today thinking about that, or I could spend all day today thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. And all that ends up happening is I'm wasting today. And so, what I would tell a new person, to go back to your initial question, is just show up, be present, be grateful, and be of service. Don't overcomplicate it. It's not a difficult formula. They make formulas difficult so that they can sell the formula, but it's really a simple formula. And it is just showing up and saying, what can I do? Because if you're thinking about what can I do, you're thinking about yourself. But you're kind of like, you got to get outside yourself and think about people outside. And surprisingly, if you do this, opportunities will present themselves. And if you're aware of them, you're gonna capitalize on them, for lack of a better term. But you do that, you'll be surprised. It's really incredible. And over time, I had one of the worst Junes I've ever had. I lost money in June, which is crazy for our big month, right?
Yep.
Man, I did not care. I'm not worried about it because I know that I did everything I was supposed to do in June. There's I maybe could have done differently if I was honest, having hindsight, but I know that I gave it my best, and making money in June just wasn't important this year. You just keep rolling. And as a new agent, I think if you can get that mindset, you'll do very well. There's so many realtors, right? Everybody knows three or four, or is probably related to three or four. You know how that is.
Oh, absolutely.
So to stand out, if you just show up and say, hey, I don't care if I make money on this, or I don't care if you use me to buy a house. That's the big thing. I went into a listing appointment. They're interviewing 4 or 5 realtors, and I gave them my best presentation. I said, this is what I'm about. This is what I do. And I asked them who they interviewed. And I said, if you don't use me, I like this one and this one. Right.
Yep.
Because if you're not going to use me, I at least want to know that at the end of the day, you're still in good hands. To be fair, before anybody files an ethics complaint, I didn't badmouth the other realtors. I just said, this realtor I like how this realtor does. You know what I mean? I didn't say this one. Yeah, this one's crooked. This one's dishonest. I didn't, because I never want to platform myself by putting someone else down. That's a terrible idea. But yeah, that's just so new agents. If I could get a new agent, I would just say, who do you know today? What can you do? Who needs their yard mowed? And do it with, and some people might say, oh, you're just doing it to try to sell homes, but you do it long enough and people can sell. Like, you're just honestly being of service. You're just being a good person. Everybody's skeptical at first, and that's fine because you're doing it for the right reasons. And that's at the end of the day more important than anything else.
Oh, hands down. I love your message. It's great. And it's definitely something that everybody needs to resonate because honestly, that's what realtor means. If you have that little R above your name, that
That's
is
the idea.
your community. It has nothing to do with selling homes. And agents
No.
forget that. When we go into the end of the year, I don't know if you guys are doing yours right now, where they do the Realtor of the Year. Realtor
Yeah.
of the Year, to win, it's a point system of service. It has nothing to do with how many houses you've sold, what your GCI is, nothing. And that's something that all of us need to remember when we get into this business.
That's 100% right. A realtor of the year is not a production award, right?
No, yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely about service.
Exactly. And we should wear that R with a badge of honor because there is a strict code of ethics that go along with it that
Yep.
I'm happy to abide to. And I think within a community, realtors hold themselves to a higher standard. And I know it's easy to say, I know realtors that don't.
Oh, absolutely. We
And
all,
that has nothing to do with you and I because we are not responsible. We don't have to, at the end of the night, live with themselves, live with them. We have to live with them ourselves. And I get people that are like, oh, I don't trust realtors. You can trust me and trust you, Kristy. That's how it is. That's how it works. And I'm proud of it. Absolutely said. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. In a transaction, let's say an example for you. What is one thing that you went above and beyond that you can remember that a client just remembered and it might have given you business, might have not, it might have just given you peace of mind that you've done that's over and beyond for a client, maybe in the last 2 years since you've been on your journey?
Oh man, that's a tough one because if I'm being honest, it's hard for me to say what it would be just because probably some of the most generous things I've done, they don't know. And then also the things that they are aware of, it's hard to say what I'm not uncomfortable saying it because does that make
No,
sense?
that's
I
okay.
feel pretty, I know. And I was like, and I was trying to think of something. It's hard because then it's I could say something, but then it's like whatever I'd say wouldn't sound as good. And now it just sounds like I'm trying to avoid the question. So yeah, I
I
just have a hard time with
There's a
that because
lot of
it's
things
like, look
we
how
do.
good I am.
No, there's a lot
It's
of things we do that are behind the scenes that the clients.
yeah, so much of it. And that's like my favorite is doing things and not getting credit. Like the Bible
Going,
says, yeah, what you do for the glory of men, you receive your reward in full, right? But what you do in secret before me is what's important. And yeah, that's just a great mindset. Never let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. And what that creates then is you're no longer transactionally focused. And that ties back into like for newer agents, if you're posting, hey, look what I did for this client, or getting them on video and saying this is what this realtor did, I look at it as if I told you what something really awesome I did, then I feel like it's then whatever I get by sharing it with you, then that's my reward for doing it. Right. And it just goes because old Seth would have been like, oh, Kristy, I did this. And this is why you should trust me. This is why you should call it. And now I don't know. Hopefully people will just get to know me. But yeah, it's a good question. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's just a principle thing. Just
no,
keep my ego in check. I feel like I might be wrong, but
no, you are completely right because I think that is something that I'm always working on is it's trying to be more humble. I came from nothing, but I'm successful now. But how do you still
yeah.
have those core values? How do you help others? How do you help others without being boastful? And I'm bad about it. When you get an award or whatever, all these agents,
Oh yeah.
they don't, even the public doesn't know. Like they're posting themselves about themselves. I don't do that. I don't think I've tried it. I'm not that person. I can't.
Good. Don't be.
Rather win in quiet,
Yeah.
I
That's
guess.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. You got an award. Thank you guys for the award. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. It's hard for me to be like, I just got an award yesterday and the guy came and took a picture of me for it. And at first I was like, hey, send me a copy of that because I'm always like, I need to post on my Insta. I'm so bad about
You
social
should.
media. Yeah, I should. I know. And
In
I'm still
theory of
not
real
like,
estate.
yeah, I just look at me, guys. I'm like, I don't know. That's another social media anymore. And I'm really bad about social media in the sense of wasting time on it. I'm a major consumer of social media, just not a contributor, which is then it's, what am I doing on here? I like to think, oh, I'd love to delete Facebook, but I need it for real estate. But I never really, other than listings, advertising, or posting listings, that's just, I don't really, my wife yells at me a lot for that. I'm working on it, but I'm with you on getting the awards thing. I'm with you on that one. You get it. Thank you. And just then put it on your shelf, right?
Yeah.
And
I
I think
actually
that's cool.
watched a whole bunch up the other day.
Yeah.
You should put those up. I'm like, I don't know. I just can't. It's just they'll sit there for a little while and then I put them away.
Yeah. You can't take them with you.
Oh, it's just one of those things where I struggle with that. Maybe that's just myself, but
It's me too. Yeah.
maybe it's part of me helping myself continue to be more humble and be on a better path. And I love your present path because that is something I struggle with because I'm always on to the next thing because there's so many things
Hmm.
on my list because I'm a list maker every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Like even now when I'm talking to you, like my clock's like in the right corner of my screen, right? And
Hmm?
I stop, right? Just focus. When we wrap it up, we wrap it up. It doesn't matter what time it is. And
You're like,
so
I am ready
those,
in 4 minutes. We have to go. No, just
no,
kidding.
I know that's no,
That's
that's a
what our
bad
brain
attitude.
does.
It does. And we got to train our brain not to do that. The Power of Now. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book.
Yes, I have. I have not read it yet, but
Oh my gosh,
I
Kristy. That
definitely.
was one of the first books I read in sobriety and it changed my life. Power of Now. I'd recommend it to anyone and everyone. It really helps. One of the best examples it gives is that we recognize that thoughts are like a passing train and our instinct is to get on the train, right? Thought comes in, we get on the train, and then that train takes us somewhere else. But if we stop and say, this isn't a train I want to get on, and you can visualize that thought as a train and let it pass by. So you can acknowledge the thought, right? You can't help that. Sometimes thoughts just come in, but it's just acknowledge them as passing trains. And then what will happen is then you'll find the train that you're like, oh yeah, this is the one I want to get on, whether it be positive, right? Or productive, whatever kind of train what destination you're trying to get to. And so you just think of these thoughts as trains, and you keep getting on the right train. Eventually you're going to get to the destination that you're intended to get to. But so often we get on every train, just like when we were talking about our phones, or when I was wearing my Apple Watch, every text I had to read right away.
And you're with people and you're still reading it.
Yeah, you're with you. And they're like, do you have someplace there? Do you have someplace to be? Because they think you're looking at the time. But I don't have to read a text right away. I don't have to respond to every call, and I don't have to get on every train. And that's something that really helps me. That helps with my productivity. It helps with my negative thinking. I used to be a very negative person, cynical, critical, prejudicial, all those terrible ways to live. And now I'm like, okay, that's a positive thought. I'll get on that train. And eventually you're like, man, I like where I'm at now. I like this destination. And so anyways, Power of Now. It's a good book, but
I will definitely listen to it. I
check
don't
it out
because I'm an anxious person and I can't handle sitting there and reading, but I will definitely.
That's all right. That's okay too. Yeah. One of my best friends is an incredible reader. He reads a lot of books, but when I tell him what he's reading, he's like listening. Like he doesn't read, he listens, right? But he's got, every time I talk to him, it's a different book. So yeah, Audible's awesome, listening's awesome. But yeah, no, you're doing awesome, Kristy, and you're doing a great job with this podcast. And congratulations to your son too. That's just the coolest thing. I hope one of my boys is in that kind of spot at 19. I hope,
Send him up here. I'll help him get a job.
There you go. Yeah. Can you get him a job up there at the Bakken?
Oh yeah. My kid didn't go to college. She chose directly to work. Yes, work is a little tushy off.
Absolutely. Oh, no, it's hard work for sure. Yeah, it's not easy money by any means. No. Dirty hands, clean money, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But that's still cool. It's a good work ethic. Yeah. And so, yeah, you should be proud of them. But I lived in Grand Forks for a while, and I don't think I can't do any of those North Dakota winters anymore.
Yeah, you guys have generally a little bit better. We do have a vacation home there, and my sister lives where you were at as well. So we're down often. And
what?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm down there.
Hit me up next time you're in Rapid City.
Oh, we sure will.
Sweet. Yeah,
probably fairly soon. I think
awesome.
The boys are going to be hunting down there for elk here in September.
Yeah, it's coming into that season for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet, Kristy. Keep up the great work. Yeah, you're doing awesome. You've got a good message and a good attitude, and yeah, you know what you're doing. So I'm honored to be on your podcast. I appreciate you thinking of me and allowing me to do this with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Love all the wisdom you've given us. And I definitely think everybody's going to take something away. And I'm going to take away being present and definitely listen to that book here upcoming.
Good deal. Well, awesome, Kristy. That's all I could ask for. Appreciate it.
Okay, you have a wonderful rest of your week.
You too.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode of the Inner Circle podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and took away some valuable insights to help you along your real estate journey. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop me a comment below with your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have. And if you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, share this episode with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Inner Circle.